Nurses are regarded as the most dedicated of all the caring professions. But occasionally, a nurse will decide to play God. Nurses undergo a rigorous training. It seems almost unthinkable that their hard-won skills could be used to take a person's life. Florence Nightingale, or the Lady with the Lamp, is probably the best-known nurse in history. In 1854, she and a team of 32 young women went from England to the Crimea. She took over the barrack hospital at Scutari in Turkey. Almost immediately, the mortality rate declined. Florence Nightingale became a national heroine and was largely responsible for the birth of the nursing profession in Britain. Since then, nurses have worked tirelessly to comfort the suffering. But sometimes, nurses turn to murder. In Ohio, one nurse turned to killing a large number of patients to relieve his own feelings of pent-up tension. Another nurse murdered at least 6 people in Indiana when he decided they were too ill to survive. And a third ended the lives of several young children in an attempt to draw attention to herself. Between February 1986 and April the following year, 23 patients at the Drake Memorial Hospital in Cincinnati, Ohio, died under mysterious circumstances. Later, when some of the bodies were exhumed, they revealed traces of cyanide, arsenic, and petroleum-based industrial cleaning fluid. A 35-year-old, Donald Harvey, was arrested and charged with murdering at least one of his patients with a lethal injection. At first, he tried to plead insanity, as a psychiatrist had said he was a compulsive murderer. The victim was allegedly killed with a lethal dose of cyanide. William Whalen was Harvey's defense lawyer.
But it's my understanding that there's a good chance the grand jury will make a report on Monday the 17th. And my anticipation is that if they do that, then there will be additional indictments returned against my client at that time.
Harvey then changed his mind and confessed to at least 34 murders. Several of Harvey's earlier murders had taken place at the Cincinnati Veterans Hospital, where he'd worked in the morgue before moving to Drake. He was fired in July 1985, when a pistol and stolen hospital equipment was found in his bag. 7 months later, he started at Drake. On the 18th of August 1987, Harvey was brought into a Cincinnati courtroom, walking past a list of his victims. He pleaded guilty to 24 murders and 4 more charges of attempted murder. The court was crowded with relatives who wanted to see justice done. Security was tight. As Harvey watched him impassively, Prosecutor Arthur Ney went through the psychiatrist's report on his state of mind.
Dr. Denai said that this individual is sane, he's competent, but he's a compulsive killer. Dr. Denai says that he builds up tension in his body, and to release that tension, he kills.
Ney told the court that Harvey had smothered or poisoned his victims at the rate of 2 a month. He also told the court that in return for an admission of guilt, the prosecution would not press for the death penalty.
I agree that if he would give me a confession as to everything he did, I would then not seek the death penalty.
On the 22nd of August, Judge William Matthews sentenced Harvey to 24 life terms with a 60-year minimum. But Sandra Nelson, widow of one of the victims, still thought justice had not been done.
I mean, he's going to sit in prison for life or whatever, however long that is. You know? But he's alive and our loved ones are gone.
Azella Kendrick, another widow, was more philosophical.
The way Prosecutor Ney explained it, there is not a chance for him to be paroled under 60 years. And he would be, what, 95 then?
Flora Young, daughter of one of the victims, was angered by Harvey's apparent lack of remorse.
On the board, there are 28 people's names that have either died or he tried to kill. And I think it's more awesome to all of us, and to him, it's nothing.
Harvey apparently told his lawyer he'd murdered around 54 people in over 16 years. Most of the murders had taken place on hospital wards for the disabled or terminally ill.
The only reason he gave me was that he felt sorry for these people in the situation that they were in.
Harvey was then taken to Kentucky, where he confessed to another 9 murders. By the time the courts had finished with him, Harvey had been handed 35 life terms for murder and up to 95 years for the lesser charges. About 10 years later, another nurse was charged with killing 6 elderly patients by lethal injection. It's also possible he was responsible for another 140 deaths. On the 29th of December 1997, Orville Lynn Majors, a 36-year-old nurse, was arrested in Terre Haute, Indiana, and charged with 6 murders. These were said to have been committed at the Vermilion County Hospital in rural Clinton, Indiana. Each of the victims had died within 15 seconds of being injected intravenously with a deadly poison, potassium chloride. The police felt that these 6 murders were just the tip of the iceberg. John Rosa, husband of one of Major's victims, put it bluntly.
They were running an assembly line of death at the Vermilion County Hospital.
Majors had worked at the hospital from May 1993 to March 1995. During this time, the death rate in the intensive care unit rose so alarmingly that the hospital asked the police to investigate. His colleagues recalled what had happened.
Every time I would go to lunch, I'd be called back because a patient would become unstable.
Despite Major's indignant protestations of innocence, he was fired, and the state nursing board revoked his license. Following his dismissal, Majors worked in a flower shop. Over the next 2 years, 15 bodies, believed to have been victims of Majors, were exhumed. Prosecutor Mark Greenwell established a pattern in the manner of their death.
Our doctors have told us that they have seen some patterns, unusual patterns of death, unexpected types of death.
Investigators suspected that the murders had been carried out at night by someone injecting the IV bags with an undetectable poison. Fred Miller's widow was shocked by his unexpected death.
He had been told that he was getting better and that he would be in intensive care for just a couple of days, and he would be out and he would be on the road to recovery.
The investigation into the mysterious deaths took 2.5 years, involved 700 witnesses, and cost more than $1 million. It was the lengthiest and most expensive inquiry in the history of the Indiana State Police. Majors underwent 3 police interviews. As the case against him mounted, he vehemently denied everything.
I would never do anything to shorten anyone's life. I'm not God. I like life, I like people, I like caring for people.
Majors subsequently ran an antique shop. Later, the new owners discovered syringes and a bottle of potassium chloride hidden under the floorboards. Jason Crines, Major's 19-year-old nephew, under pressure from the police, told them they'd find syringes and bottles of poison in Major's van.